Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Remy.
Remy.
Yeah. Remy.
Remy.
What are your names?
I'm Caroline.
Caroline? Pleasure to meet you. And you?
I'm Meryl.
Meryl?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So you were saying you two don't get to see each other often. Do you not live in New York anymore?
No, we were just talking about how these days everything is so intentional. So you always have to set things up and organize things. But Meryl just sent me a message today saying, do you want to go for a walk? And I said, yes. So we just why not? But normally it doesn't happen that often. People don't do that. Mm-hmm. Everybody, it's like you're not allowed to make phone calls anymore either because it feels like some kind of transgressive experience to.
I was hoping it loosened up more because I felt that way now too because I had a baby not recently. He's maybe a year and 8 months. So I went from having all my free time to now the same way you're saying where everything has to be scheduled. I don't really see my friends anymore.
But why? Having a baby, that's the best time to be unscheduled and see your friends all the time.
Really? I just want to be with my son the entire time. I don't want to miss any.
No, with your son.
Bring him around.
Oh, bring him around.
I never put my kids down. I took them everywhere and they add to your time with your friends.
Yeah. I guess it's just hard for me because I'm a comedian and I'm just starting out. So it's I'm shooting a podcast, I'm doing the comedy stuff.
But if you had your son here right now, he could put his feet in the water.
But I wouldn't be able to record.
But play with him.
But you could keep him out of if you didn't have the camera going, if you just made a podcast, I mean, you probably don't want his image online.
Yeah, that too, because people are a little weird. Yeah,
but I wouldn't care, but you might not. You might not think it's okay.
Yeah. But people are a little weird.
But if you had your kid right now, you'd make a lot of friends that way.
That is true.
And also, he'd have a great time.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to have a conversation.
Why not?
He's such a busybody. He loves running around.
But if you take him along, I'm telling you, I have 3 kids.
She's hard on this.
I'm not buying it. I have 3 kids,
and they're lovely kids.
I took them everywhere. They just did everything with us.
Yeah.
And they fit into stuff. The only reason kids need a schedule and need to have everything organized is that that's what the parents have decided. If you just take them everywhere and they fit in with your life.
Yeah.
I mean, for how many millennia, not millions, but how many millennia did parents do what they needed to do? The kids are playing. Sometimes they might need you for 5 minutes, but in general, that's why they just fit into your life.
Yeah. I mean, I do take him everywhere, just not when I'm doing this, because I never know who I'm going to meet at the end of the day.
But you said you were having trouble seeing your friends, so.
So friends, yes, because, they work Monday to Friday, of course. So he goes to sleep around 7,
See, that's
8.
your problem. He doesn't know how to tell time. So what you need to do...
Yeah, but I like to sleep at night.
Yeah, but if not at 7 or 8,
So I know, I'm working at that time.
Oh, I see, okay.
I'm not,
okay.
I come home till 1 a.m.
Okay.
So my schedule is
So if you're working every night, but
yeah.
my husband and I are both musicians, and we took our
beautiful.
kids to
What
all our
kind of,
concerts. Classical musicians. So
nice. But what instrument do you play?
Violin.
Oh, beautiful.
So we took our kids to concerts. As long as if we were both playing, obviously we'd need somebody to take care of them. They went to concerts. They sat backstage. They go to parties after the concert.
Yeah.
And they were fine.
At what age were you bringing them?
From 0 to till they got sick of it when they were about 10.
10?
I'd say.
Okay, I was hoping 15, but that makes sense.
No, actually, they were different. Yeah. Some of them, one of them just loved music and is now a musician himself.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. They're going to play music now. Okay.
Yeah, so it just depends on the person. Some of them want to have their own agenda, when they're whatever. But yeah, they traveled with us. They did everything. So I think that people have this idea kids need to go to bed at a certain time. They need certain things. And I just think that's our construct. It's nothing to do with, that's my take on it.
Okay. I mean, I agree to a certain extent. I feel like kids should be free and kids need to experience and do things so that way they can learn and just learn who they are and experience different things.
They're just part of life. They're normal people like everybody else.
Yeah.
They're not some category.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. And so you did classical music and you said they went everywhere with you. Did you travel around a lot, outside of New York?
Yeah.
Playing?
We went. Our eldest took his first flight at 2 weeks.
Oh wow. So that is early. Yeah.
Yeah. He went to, I don't know, probably 20 countries by the time he was 3.
That's
we were traveling a lot at that point. Yeah. He fit in with everything.
What were some of your favorite moments in that time span?
There's so many that
Is there one that you think about often?
Well, I remember we had a flight from New Zealand to Switzerland the wrong way around the world because that's the way our tickets were going. I wouldn't say it was my favorite moment, but it was definitely...
It's the one that's in your mind.
Yeah.
So what made that imprinted.
It's just
in
when
your
you have a
mind.
kid, when you have a kid that you're traveling with, if you have all the right equipment and you have a lot of expectations, it's miserable. But if you just go with it, they make it fun because you're just in the airport and they push a luggage trolley around and they think that's great. And they see a chipmunk in the park or a squirrel in the park. That's just as exciting as saying we took them to Zimbabwe when he was about 3. Basically, a warthog was just as exciting, but no more exciting than a squirrel, and it's just funny to see how kids see the magic in little everyday moments. All the tedious waiting in line and stuff, they make it fun, unless they're screaming, which they normally aren't as long as you remember what they need and what their age is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I took my son to Costa Rica and he was amazing on that trip. He did so well, which I was very happy. Because of course, it's our first time traveling with him. And you don't want to be that parent with the crying baby on the airplane, especially when you're just starting out. Not that it used to bother me when I didn't have a baby, because I was understanding, but I understood certain people would get irritated. The same way, if people take the subway, they get irritated when it stops if someone's injured.
But even people like that, they want to be irritated about something.
Yeah.
But they want something to be irritated about. So think of it, you're giving them a gift. You're giving them something to be irritated. And you know what? Where the biggest gift is, in my view, is as a parent, when your kid is behaving really horribly, and you see everybody around looking at, and you think all the parents there are thinking how much better their kids are.
Yes.
And you're giving them this gift, enjoy this.
That is
you
good.
are just, it's like my kid is the one having the fit, and yours is not. So enjoy it, And I really think it's in people's heads. People are so uptight about this stuff. They want to do everything right, and they think they're the first person that ever had a baby. It's like, come on.
Especially in New York, you see that all
Everywhere, it's weird. Yeah, people are going nuts. Yeah, so. Okay, that's my philosophy of life. There you have it.
Planning to talk about that. Baby was.
I never know I'm gonna talk about because it's always I don't have an agenda. It's just trying to get a peek into your life and what you think about, and it's really just about you because I feel like it's so important to show different personalities and different perspectives on life because everyone has an interesting story to tell, so it should be told. You have a beautiful story, and I would have never knew any of that. Looking at you.
I have some ugly stories too. You
That's
want to hear those?
Sure. Whatever you want, whatever you feel like sharing, I'm here for.
Yeah. No.
But, what about? She's like, I'll hold off on that. Yeah. And what about you, Meryl? What about you? What is it that you do, and what do you like?
I am a therapist.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I like many.
I'm gonna stop speaking now.
No. That actually,
I'm joking.
That is comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Talking more of it, and I guess I like many things. I like this. Stream. Is this a stream?
I would say we can call it a stream if we want. It's very beautiful, isn't it?
And I like Central Park.
Okay.
And I could like many things.
Yeah.
We like talking to friends.
Chatting with my friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've been a therapist. How long have you been doing that for?
I guess on and off since 25 years.
25
Mostly
years?
on.
Okay. Mostly on. Sometimes off.
Yeah. Doing.
Is it just you need a break or anything?
I think a little bit needing a break. I mean, also one period of a break was when I had moved from New Hampshire. I'm from here. We're both natives.
Okay.
We went to high school together.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's what I was going to ask that too. How long you two knew each other for?
We did not know each other in high school, but she was in my English class. But
okay.
We didn't know each other.
Yeah.
And then.
Did she always have this strong personality?
Probably.
Oh, that's beautiful. Good for you.
As I said, it's pretty ugly too. Yeah. I was really miserable in high school. I think I was kind of
it was
shut down. I was a bit shut down.
In your life,
yeah.
In high school. Yeah. It was a while ago.
Yeah, because you're figuring yourself out. It's
Yeah. And also, right, you don't have a lot of control. You're still in some ways a kid, so there's things you're not able to, have authority over in your life. So yeah, we've technically known each other a very long time, but then we all reconnected 3 years ago.
Oh, so you just started becoming friends again
as part
recently.
of a larger group of friends from the same year in the same high school.
Okay.
So
we're new old friends.
We're new old friends.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Because I think when you've known somebody, even if you didn't know them very well, when you have the familiarity from childhood, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, you look like you're about 12 years old yourself. But,
I know.
But when you...
I just came out my dad's sack. Swam down the stream and everything.
But when you're 60, we're all turning 60, or turned 60, so
Oh, you're not 60 yet?
Not yet.
I am 60.
Yeah.
Oh, you look great. You both. Yeah, good for you.
So you get better as you get older, in my view.
I need to start sticking my feet in some stream water. That's the secret.
Yeah.
I think that, you know what George Orwell said about the last thing he ever wrote, I think, in his diary. I've probably quoted this to you before. He wrote,
I don't know if I
at 50, he died when he was 50 or soon after, and he wrote, the last thing he wrote is, at 50, everyone has the face they deserve, or something like that. So I think by the time you're 50, your character and who you are is written on your face. So I think older people have that, which is nice. I like that.
Okay.
You know, whatever your character is, it's beautiful to see that on somebody's face. Whereas young people, sometimes you can see things, but it hasn't been written in the same way.
Yeah, it's just getting started. And then also people fight it.
You have to find yourself.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Because it took it. Not that I was fighting. I guess I was fighting it. All my life, all I cared about was making people laugh, and that was like the most important thing for me. Is like I love to do it. I love it. I guess I come from a funny family, and seeing that the funniest person got not praise, but there was like a certain like light or like gusto to them for being the funniest in the family, and like people like the way they treated them. So like I always wanted to be that. I always wanted to make people laugh from that. And I got caught up with my parents pushing me to do certain things like be in finance, do this, do that. So like in my head, it was always like lawyer, finance, doctor, like these were what encapsulated success. But I always loved making people laugh. And finally I started working in finance, and luckily my boss was one of my friends. And he was like, hey, listen, like you have to choose which one you want. Like if you want to make people laugh, you need to go do that. And if you want to do this, then you need to become one of us, because you can't do both. Like that's not how we are. And it gave me time.
That's weird.
There's no fun in finance.
That's really creepy. Don't you think the world would be better if those people, if we only hired comedians to do our finance? It seems like that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, I feel like you should have you should have a serious person handling that.
No, I don't think so. I think that's our problem.
Okay.
Don't you think that the world is being run by people who who think they're serious, and look at what they're doing? You think they're doing a good job?
I mean, there has to be people that are doing bad jobs and good jobs, but I completely agree with you.
Seems
I just
pretty
feel
dire to me right now.
Yeah, I feel I agree with you to a certain extent. For me, it's like I do think you can still have a sense of like humor, and you don't have to be 100% stern to get the job done, as long as you understand when it's work time is work and then jokes separate. But what I have noticed is like when I'm managing teams, because my family has a wedding business, when I am laid back and relaxed with the people that I'm working with, in the beginning, they do, not that they take advantage, but they take it less serious because I'm taking it less serious. Like I'm being like, hey, it's okay, like as long as we get the job done, it's okay, have fun, da-da-da-da. But then I need to get a little bit more stern for them to be like, hey, like we're still here to work and provide a service for other people, so they're having the best day of their lives. But we don't need to be like dickheads to each other or rude to each other or rude to anybody else. We can still have fun doing it.
But don't you think that attitude is something that's our society has created that, and it doesn't have to be that way.
So
you know, it's like in school, if you have a punitive or kind of approach to, or like you have to separate fun from whatever the business that you're doing, then kids start to not want to learn for fun because they see this as like you're being trained. So if you're trained to think my job is something that I can't joke around, that I can't feel lighthearted about it, that I can't do with joy, then you start to separate these things. And actually what we need is more to have more joy and celebration and like, why are you really doing this? I mean, if you're really feeling like I'm doing this to make, I wouldn't say the best day of somebody's life, because that seems pretty sad about the rest of their life. But if you're thinking we're going to have
spending all that money, I mean,
no, if you're thinking, but
but
that's part of the problem. Like if you're thinking we're going to create a beautiful, wonderful, genuine, sincere experience where people have an extraordinary experience, that day
You
that's
lose
very
sight of what-
joyful,
Right.
then you
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would
I
be
agree
one
with
of the
you.
best days, or it will be a really meaningful day,
I think
or a fun day.
Yeah.
Or it would be a fun day. No
Yeah.
one has fun at their own wedding.
it could be a
Seriously,
day
when I
that's
meet people, I preach them not to have weddings,
Yeah.
and that's our. I'm like, hey, like I understand you're coming to us, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like I feel a lot of people, they lose sight because of what you're saying. They put all these pressures on these things, and when it doesn't go their way, they lose their mind.
Right. They
And I'm just
do.
like, you're losing sight of that. The purpose of this is to celebrate the love that you two were made to, like the things that you went through to make this happen. Like this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And you get lost in it when you take the photos. Hey, we got to do the first dance, we got to do the second dance. It's time to cut the cake. Time to throw the garter. Time to throw the flowers. Hey, the photographer needs you to go out there to take photos again. Go greet
doing
everybody.
the whole wedding for the photographer.
Just so you can show people that you're never
Nobody
gonna
cares.
show.
And nobody wants to see your stupid wedding photos anyway. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. But you know what I think is that it's true.
It's true.
That's right.
It's
Right.
only you two care about the
Right.
photos.
Yeah. And the thing is that with weddings, I feel like the weddings, I've been to a lot of weddings in one way or another as playing music and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And the weddings that I think are the best are when you
Cocktail
get the
hour
sense,
master.
when you get the sense that the people are doing what they normally do, but just a heightened version of it. If they like colorful things, they'll have every possible color, you know?
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like what people do at weddings is they try to subscribe to some imposed idea of what they think a wedding should be, rather than this is the best party that I would make on my own, in my way. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that's what. So I guess, but that's a little further from what you're saying.
Yeah,
about,
the further was
But I
just-
mean, I guess I.
It was, yeah.
But we don't
That's
have to
okay.
go back to. See, now
We don't
this
have
is
to.
me.
It's just
Do
conversation.
you want to go back to the finance versus comedy?
Oh
and
no,
then
this
how
is my
you chose
dream.
Comedy?
Yeah,
You
this
like what we're
this
doing?
my dream. It's like I always wanted to make people laugh, and like to be a comedian. That's always been like, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's who you are.
Yeah, it's just who I am.
Yourself.
Yeah, because not some people when they, what's this? They always ask. Oh, they always ask me if I love it, if I love doing comedy. And for me, it's always an interesting question because it's like breathing air.
Yeah.
It's like, do you love breathing air? Like, of course you want to live, to breathe, but it's like, it's so weird to say I love breathing air. Unless you go upstate to get fresh air. Like if you're in bad air in New York, then it's like, yes, you love to be upstate to breathe fresh air.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just a weird thing to say like, I love comedy.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be on that path.
Yeah.
If it's so
That's if it feels
intrinsic.
that natural, then
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, see, that's all it was. Nothing to
all
be
it was.
scared of.
I agree.
Yeah.
But was this funny?
So it doesn't need to be funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the show that I do, it doesn't need to be funny. It's just to show different personalities and to show human experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more about that.
Well, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Good
meeting
luck
you too. Thank
with
you so
everything.
much.
Enjoy your baby. It's the
Yeah.
best
Oh yeah,
time.
oh, it's the best thing in the world.
The best time.
Yeah.
I just love the little ones. Mine are all grown up, obviously, but
How old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
29, 26, and 23.
Oh,
Yeah.
how fast?
I know.
Oh.
I know.
How fast it must have felt for you. For them,
The
like
days,
growing.
the days are long and the years are short.
Yeah.
As people say.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I
The days
loved
are
the
long,
having.
the years
I
are
loved
short.
having little ones. That was the best. As they get older, you know, little people, little problems. Big people, big problems. You know. So
Okay.
as they get older, it's like, it's hard to see them struggle with life choices and
I see.
yeah, and you know that's difficult because you have no, you feel responsible and you feel so involved, but you have no control whatsoever. So, and you can't do anything for them really,
Yeah,
except
you just have to
swim
watch.
along. You can swim along beside them for a bit,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's about it. If they'll let you.
If they'll
Yeah.
let you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for having this conversation
nice
with me.
meeting
I
you.
really, really appreciate
Nice
it.
to
Lovely
meet you.
meeting you too. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Accidentally on purpose?
Accidental purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, close though. Very, very close. Accidental purpose, yeah.